didn't recognise you, but now I do. I'm dying. So you didn't recognise me either.
No, I didn't. You went, no, me and you two.
Yeah, I knew you caught up with me quite recently. And Gary's never saw me. Right.
We share the road of life with ones that we hold dear, and if it were in our power, we'd always keep them near. They help us to navigate the obstacles in life, and it makes the journey easier when they're walking by our side. And though the way is lonelier when we no longer hear their step, remember they still share the road they've just travelled on ahead. I speak of Judith May Carr. On behalf of Judy's family, I warmly welcome you and thank you for your presence as we come together to say goodbye, to honour and celebrate Judy's life. I would also like to welcome those who are joining us by live stream. I hope you feel a part of our service today. My name is Delma Carpenter, and along with Brendan and his colleagues from Parkside Funerals, we feel very privileged to have been asked to conduct this service for you. Please, if you haven't done so already, now is a good time for you to turn your mobile phones onto silent. Judy was many things to many people, and most importantly, she was a loving mother to Rose, to Lisa and to Alistair, and a beautiful nan to her grandchildren and great-grandchildren, a dear sister to Graham, Leon and Diane. She was an open and warm friend to all that knew her and were charmed by her kindness and her spirit. It was not an easy time for Judy when she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in her early 30s. Over time, as the disease progressed, it was Judy's strength and her resilience, her determination not to give up, and an acceptance to deal with whatever was put before her that kept her going. Judy sadly lost her battle and passed away on the 12th of September 2022, the same day that her brother Leon died 10 years previous. Judy was greatly loved and will be greatly missed, and I'm sure since her passing you've thought back over the relationship that you had with her and the memories that you shared. The memory of a loved one who is no longer with us can be a powerful aid to coping with grief. Grief is a great indicator and measure of love. These two emotions go hand in hand like two sides of a coin. They're inseparable. The more you love, the more you grieve. You will always hold Judy close to your hearts and dear in your memories. Be grateful that she lived and walked in your world. And although there is sadness in your hearts at losing her, you can feel happy for the moments that brought you joy, made you laugh and made you smile. Let's together cherish these moments and stories because that's what made Judy special to you. I'm sure she would want us to be laughing and telling stories. So let's now take a look at her life as told to me by the family. It was on the 6th of April 1946 that Alice and Ab Carr welcomed their daughter Judith May into the world. Judy had 3 siblings, older brother Graham and younger brother Leon, who is deceased, and sister Diane. Growing up with her family at Upper Judy liked to be inside with her mum Alice, learning life skills of cooking, knitting and sewing. She also learnt to play the piano and was very good at it. Judy went to school at Natone area, and back then she would have hung her bag and her coat in the clerk room, listened to broadcasts on the wireless and watched films on a projector, including a sex instruction film, as I read in the Natone book, that was purchased by the Mothers Club for the senior girls to watch. How times have changed. In 1958, there were 9 pupils at the school gain their secondary school certificate, and Judy was one of those, receiving 2 credits. Leaving school, Judy worked at the APPM sorting paper. It was here that she made friends with Pam Houlihan. Pam had eyes for Judy's brother Graham and asked her to be the messenger to pass on the message that she was keen on him. I was going to say that she had the hots for him, but I thought, no, I better not. Judy met and married John Smith, and they lived in the Burnie area, where Judy created a warm and loving home for their 3 children, Rosalind, Lisa and Alistair. Time moved on and the family moved north to live in Cairns in Queensland, and it was here that John and Judy parted ways. Judy worked in duty-free in Cairns and went on to be the manager. Living in Sydney for a time, she also worked again for duty-free. Years went by and Judy moved to Brisbane, where she lived in an independent living complex, staying here for 3 years before heading north to be with her daughter Rose and family, who lived on the very northern tip of Australia at Cape York. With her health declining, Judy made the decision to return to Tasmania to live at Eliza Purton Home for the extra care and support that she needed. Rose told me that her mother was an amazing mum. She was firm but fair and made the best school lunches a kid could wish for. She was always there for them, following them in their sporting pursuits, hockey, netball and taekwondo, even slicing the oranges for half-time. Rose said, when I told Mum I love you, her reply would be, I love you more. Nobody could be more proud of her children than Judy was. She was a loving grandmother to her 6 grandchildren. Nathan had Nan all to himself for 13 years until Kit, Tyler, Alec, Anastasia and Tristan came into her world. The branches of Judy's family tree grew with the arrival of great-grandchildren, Evelyn and Elijah. While she saw some of her grandchildren more than others, it was not to say that they were ever far from her heart. Family was so important to Judy. Being clever with her hands, Judy was a beautiful seamstress and knitter. She made all her children's school uniforms and their clothes right up until they wanted store-bought clothing. As an accomplished knitter, Judy could knit the more complicated patterns like Fair Isle and cables. Her family were the beneficiaries of her beautiful knitted cardigans and jumpers. Judy always had knitting on the go, even up until a few weeks before her passing. Judy was knitting in her own special way. In the kitchen was another place that Judy liked to be. She was a great cook and could make anything and everything, with sweets being her specialty. It was a pleasure for Judy to cook for others, and nothing more delighted her than hosting a dinner party for her friends. And while she was busy in the kitchen, Rose said that she had the job of folding the serviettes, then had to disappear before the visitors arrived. Judy also enjoyed fine dining, and she was in her element out with friends, sharing a glass of quality wine and a delicious meal. That being said, she also liked a hash brown or a pancake from Macca's. Judy's love of music commenced at a young age from when she was playing the piano, and she especially liked classical music and spent hours listening to albums by the French pianist Richard Clatterman, and we heard one of his songs here this morning. She also liked the Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli, and he was one of her favourite artists. Taking pride in her appearance, Judith liked to look nice and was particular about what she wore. If you peeked in her wardrobe, you would see lots of shades of pink and mauve. She was particular with her hair, liked to have her nails done and her face made up. And from a male's perspective, Graham said she even put lipstick on after lunch. You could say that Judy was a shopaholic. She loved shopping for clothes and shoes, and in later times even an outing to the supermarket brought her joy. After buying fruit and yoghurt, lollies and chocolates, Judy always found herself in the personal care aisle, checking out the shampoos, moisturisers and lipsticks that she already had 6 or a dozen of at home. Her sister Diane said that her and Judy regularly went shopping, and on one occasion Judy jokingly whistled at a couple of blokes who were working in a shop front. They both had a giggle. Judy's holiday to America was a highlight in her life in more ways than one. While the September 11th attacks, or the 9/11 as we call it, was an event in history that we will all never forget, it was a time that had a huge impact on Judy. She was in New York during that time and was in the Twin Towers just the day before the planes attacked. Sometimes it'll be the little things that bring back so many memories of Judy, like how she had a collection of teddy bears that she loved, with 3 of them being very special, Huggy, Smokey and Monty. Is this Huggy here today? And how they found themselves into Judy's suitcases when she went travelling. Remembering how she was organised and routinal, with the first thing she did of a morning was make her bed, and how her washing was colour-coded on the clothesline. Then there was seeing the Sydney Swans win and knowing how pleased Judy would be. Remembering her stash of lollies and chocolates that she kept for the visitors and the staff at Eliza. Or it could just be when you go out for a coffee and you'll remember how she loved a cappuccino. It'll be just the little things that you remember. Judy regularly practiced yoga, which helped her spiritual being and her positive outlook. She was an amazing woman who faced many challenges and adversities through her life, but was always more concerned about others than herself. Everyone privileged to have Judy as part of their lives knew her as a beautiful, loving, selfless woman. After a life of 76 years, Judy sadly left our world, but will never leave the hearts and minds of those who loved her. I'd like to ask Judy's sister Diane to come forward, and she's going to share a tribute with us.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here today. First words that come to mind when thinking of Jude, I always called her that, is determined. And a little bit stubborn. Oh, okay, a lot stubborn. Seriously though, she never gave up, always had hope. I remember many years ago when we both lived in Burnie, we would catch up for lunch at Martini Coffee Lounge regularly, and then we'd go shopping. Usually shoe shopping at Pisa's. I'm sure a lot of you would remember when Jude wore stilettos, inherited that from our mum. Jude was such a smart dresser, always looked beautiful, couldn't go anywhere without putting that lippy on. As Jude's mobility declined, I suggested a wheelchair. Did not like that idea at all. She said to me, that would mean giving up. Eventually, she did get a wheelchair. But as time passed, the wheelchair became more difficult for her to manoeuvre, so was upgraded to the motorised wheelchair. Easy to move and faster. That speed was a little bit more than she could handle at times. Visited her one day to find the dining table in the rec room, moving the dining table in the rec room with her wheelchair. Now, just to put you in the picture of this one, this dining table is a huge solid timber table, definitely not easy to move. She was not a good driver at all. Few minor accidents, and then one day completely rolled the wheelchair, and she was found in the hallway outside her room with a wheelchair on top of her. She was very lucky with this reckless driving and never really hurt herself too badly. Just a few bruises and scratches, not to mention a bruised ego. Judith enjoyed fine food and always up for a glass of wine. I've enjoyed many three-course dinners and Christmas lunches that she'd prepared. Over the last few years, we would have Boxing Day lunch at my home with other family members. Judith always enjoyed this day. I'm going to miss those regular phone calls from Eliza Purton. The call would always begin, "Hi Di, everything's okay? Judith's just slipped out of the wheelchair," or "Jude's just slipped out of bed," always trying to escape. I would like to thank Eliza Purton's staff from the bottom of my heart for their wonderful care, support and love that Jude has received. Words cannot express how truly grateful we all are. Jude is going to be missed by so many. I know I'm going to be in trouble now mentioning these two people, but I would like to say the biggest thank you to Graham and Pam for their regular visits to Jude, their amazing support, always being there for Jude, taking to her appointments, shopping and out for lunches. Rest in peace, dear Jude.
Thank you, Diane. We're now going to see Jude's life through photos while listening to Hey Jude. It was a lovely selection of photos showing Jude's life. The family have asked me on their behalf to express their gratitude for your presence here today. It is so much appreciated. They'd like you to invite you to join them here at Parkside following the service to enjoy a cuppa and a chat with them, and I'm sure they'd all like to hear your stories of Jude. The power of a person's life is the stories that they leave behind, and throughout our lives we continuously create stories and our own personal legacy. Judy's legacy to you is the memories that you have of her, so let's pause for a moment and give thanks for her life. We give thanks for her lovely smile and warm welcome, her friendliness and her loyalty, her selflessness in putting others before herself, her positive outlook on life, her determination and strong will not to let things beat her, her kindness, her kind heart and her generosity. We give thanks to Judy for her love and care of her family. I place these petals to symbolise Judy's love for you and your love for her. Judy probably would have preferred a wine in the glass. Sadly, it has come to say our final farewell to Judy, and while there is sadness in your hearts at this time, it is important to remember that when we love, it is never lost. It is only after death that the depth of bond is truly felt, and our loved ones become more a part of us than was possible in life. Let us now take comfort in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I'd like to invite family and friends to come forward to say their own personal goodbye by placing a flower on Jude's coffin.
Didn't know today would be our last, or that I'd have to say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb I can't feel anymore. I'm praying you just walk back through that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight. Always made my troubles feel so small, and you were always there to catch me when I'd fall. In a world where heroes come and go, well, God just took the only one I know. So I'll hold you as close as I can, longing for the day when I see your face again. But until then, God must need another angel around the throne tonight. Your a question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight, singing hallelujah. Just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight.
We've come to that part of the service where we have to say goodbye. It's now time for the committal. Please stand if you are able. To everything, there is a season, a time to every purpose on earth, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to mourn, and a time to rejoice. Judith, May, Carr, tenderly and reverently we give your body to the purifying elements and ultimately to Mother Earth, from which all things come and to which all things in the end return. We take comfort in knowing that Judy goes to be with loved ones that have gone before her. In life, Judy, we loved you dearly. In death, we love you still. In our hearts you'll hold a place no one else will ever fill. With great love and respect, we bid Judy farewell.